Well, we're up to number 2 now on the countdown. You can tell by this it's a fire, and it's kind of a tragic one, unfortunately, because there was a fatality in this fire. Now there's the fire the night of the 15th into the morning of the 16th to the west of Clark. Now I'll take a look at the setup for this. We'll go above the surface for this. We'll start about a mile up into the atmosphere. This is what meteorologists call a 700 millibar chart. And you can see these right here. These are what are called wind bars, basically how strong the wind's blowing at that level. Every time you see one of these big lines, that means 10 knots, so figure about 11 miles per hour for each one of those. The small ones are 5. Now, when you start to see the flags, which is like this triangle right there, that means 50 knots. So our sounding we had 45 knots, but you get up into Montana, 60, 65 knots. So very strong winds, not too far above the surface. It's about 10,000 feet up, right about mountaintop level. And we go up a little bit higher. This is at the jet stream level, about 35,000 feet up into the atmosphere. You can see some very strong winds aloft here. You can see winds here, 90 knots, 95 knots. Now, it's kind of hard to see here, but there is kind of a light blue color of a jet stream coming into this area. You can see that's over 100 knots, so some very strong winds there. Now, I want you to notice what sector we're in. Clark is about right there. So you can see we're in what's called the right front quadrant of the jet. Now, I've explained this before, just a refresher for jet dynamics with weather. Imagine you're driving the jet stream. Now, if you want downward forcing, which is downward momentum for helping to force those winds down to the surface, you want to either be in the right front or the left rear of the jet. So picture that if you're driving it, either be the front passenger seat or the back rear passenger seat. We have to be in the front right passenger seat, so we get downward forcing those winds down to the ground. And you can see some of the strong wind gusts here. Now, this is what meteorologists call gap flow, basically. Those winds are forced down to the ground. They accelerate as they go down. And the other reason is it's getting squeezed between the mountains and the passes there. It's similar to when you take a garden hose, and when you squeeze the top of it, it comes out a lot faster. Technical term is called the Bernoulli effect. I'm not going to go to the technical definition, but take a look at the wind gusts here. It started up 79 miles an hour, 89 miles per hour. You see wind gusts here, a long period here of about an hour and a couple hours. Wind gusts over 100 miles per hour, maxing out at 120 miles per hour. So you can imagine the effect that had on some of the infrastructure around there. And another reason why this occurred, you probably remember, the fall was very, very warm for the most part. We had that one decent snowstorm in October. Other than that, through about November 15th, it was actually pretty warm across most of the area. And also leading up to the fire, there was no measurable rain or snow in that area for about 3 weeks preceding the fire. So the fuels were very, very dry, and it was just primed for this. So the facts, started about 12:15, those strong winds blew a power line into a tree, and that jumped down to the grass. It was moving initially up toward Montana, then the wind shifted, turned it back toward the Lion Creek. That's pretty much what it followed until it was put out. And this was moving very, very fast. So those wind gusts over 75 miles per hour. Imagine it being pushed through that dry grass. One witness said it moved 6 miles in just 10 minutes. So you try getting out of the way of that. And unfortunately, there was one fatality caused by smoke inhalation. 3 homes were damaged, also several outbuildings. One of these outbuildings was actually a home under construction. It's officially classified as an outbuilding. A lot of vehicles were destroyed, and a lot of animals, unfortunately, lost their lives, too. Well, we have number 1 tomorrow. Any guesses what it is? We'll tune in tomorrow, and we'll let you know.